On Jamaica Magazine today, building on achievements over the next decade.
The seeds we have planted in the previous years are germinating, and we commit to making this decade one of increased growth, peace, and prosperity in our land.
And so government is heading into the next financial year with continued focus on increasing investments in infrastructure, skills and social development, health, education, security, and legislation, among others. And that's not all, as government is also encouraging our youth to stay focused while it builds the capacity of our athletes and coaches. Stick around for the details.
Jamaica, I can help you protect our citizens.
Jamaica Eye will play a part in increasing your public safety.
Jamaica Eye is part of an island-wide network of camera surveillance systems designed to increase the safety of you, our citizens. If you have a camera system outside your home or office facing a public space, log on to jamaicaeye.gov.jm today. Jamaica Eye, we're all connected. The Ministry of National Security, creating a safer and prosperous Jamaica.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, February 20. Government has set aside $100 million to truck water to communities across the island. Minister of Local Government and Community Development, Desmond McKenzie, says the allocation is in anticipation of drought conditions expected to affect the island.
Already the country is experiencing drought conditions. The parishes of Portland and St. Mary is presently going through that phase. The government has been proactive. We have started to look at how we are going to respond to the crisis. And we have been doing so in a number of ways.
The local government minister was speaking at a recent ceremony to break ground for the construction of a water shop in Trial St. Elizabeth. It will be constructed at a cost of $11 million over the next 6 weeks. The water shop project will include the installation of a 30,000-gallon community water tank, which will provide potable water to residents of the area and surrounding communities. St. Elizabeth, Portland, and St. Mary are among the parishes severely affected by the current dry spell. To help local authorities respond, Minister McKenzie says $10 million will be allocated to the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation. This is to support the trucking of water, while each councillor will receive 10 500-gallon water tanks for distribution to residents. Come next month, Jamaicans will have access to the TravelPal app to increase the safety of commuters. With the app, commuters will be able to use their mobile devices to scan the registration plates of public passenger vehicles to confirm if they are licensed by the Transport Authority.
By the end of March, we'll be launching the TravelPal, which is a safety and security app for passengers.
Minister Robert Montego made the announcement recently during the official opening ceremony of the Transport Authority's satellite office. The TravelPal app will also allow users to share information on their location when using a public passenger vehicle. It will have a panic feature linked to the Police 119 system. This initiative is part of the ministry's 16-point plan to reform public transportation. $61 million has been allotted by the government to construct 4 classrooms at the Black River High School and purchase 1 new school bus for Richmond Park Primary in the new fiscal year. The funds for these projects have been allocated in the 2020-2021 Estimates of Expenditure, which is now before the House of Representatives. The items will be provided through partnership between the government and the Embassy of Japan under the Japanese Grant Assistance for Grassroots Human Security Project. Meanwhile, $25.2 million has been budgeted in fiscal year 2020-2021 to complete construction of the Women's Center of Jamaica Foundation's Santa Cruz Outreach Center in St. Elizabeth. The facility will strengthen delivery of the foundation's program for adolescent mothers and expand its activities in the parish. The program enables girls to continue their education during pregnancy and prepares them to be reintegrated into the formal school system after they have given birth. It was initially scheduled to be executed from April 2018 to March 2019, but has been extended to March 2021. In other news, electric mobility will be one of the topics explored at the 4th Energy and Climate Partnership of the Americas (ECPA) ministerial meeting this year. The meeting is scheduled from February 27 to 28 at the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James. E-mobility refers to vehicles that are powered by an electric motor and primarily get their energy from the power grid, which means they can be recharged externally. The government is developing an electric vehicle policy which will create an enabling environment for the use of technology in the public transportation space. Speaking at a recent Energy Roundtable, Energy and Technology Minister Favor Williams said interest in e-mobility was growing globally, regionally, and locally.
We've noticed across the world that there is an exponential increase in electric vehicles, moving from 3 million in 2017 to 5.3 million in 2018. And it is expected that EV sales will reach 23 million by 2030.
The ECPA ministerial meeting will include the participation of energy ministers from 30 countries, as well as development partners and private sector stakeholders. And finally, Education State Minister Alanda Terrelong is urging more Jamaican youth to pursue foreign languages in order to widen their level of competence and create multiple employment options. Mr. Terrelong says this will contribute to the growth, development, and prosperity of Jamaica.
If we are serious as a nation in ensuring the growth, development, and prosperity of our youth, then it behoves us to ensure that whether it's going to be Spanish, or whether it's going to be French, or whether it's going to be Mandarin, it behoves us as a nation to ensure that every single school offers a core foreign language subject, so that by the time our students get to the university level, they would have already amassed a level of competence that makes them certifiable.
The State Minister was speaking at the 11th staging of the Foreign Languages Conference recently. The annual event seeks to facilitate greater dialogue with international stakeholders in promoting and improving the teaching and learning of foreign languages in Jamaica. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Let's take a look at some of government's targeted areas for action in the next financial year.
Government says the 2020-2021 financial year will be the start of a decade of growth, underpinned by a robust legislative agenda as well as accelerated investment in infrastructure, renewable energy, skills development, environmental protection, and crime and violence. The agenda was outlined in the throne speech delivered by Governor-General Sir Patrick Allen during the ceremonial opening of Parliament on February 11. With security as a high priority, he said there would be significant capital investment and social intervention to address the scourge of crime. In addition, 3 critical pieces of legislation will be advanced: the Law Enforcement Protection of Integrity Act, Corrections Amendment Act, and the Aliens Act and Immigration Restriction Commonwealth Citizenship Act amendments legislation.
The government maintains that a whole of society approach is required to tackle the issue of crime and violence.
Meanwhile, a new NIDS bill will be tabled, along with amendments to the Registration of Births and Deaths Act.
The government will also complete implementation of the National Key Public Infrastructure Project and advance the digital transformation of the Registrar General's Department.
The Governor General also announced continued heavy investment under the Greater Infrastructure Development Program,
which includes not just roads, but bridges and structures, street lighting, sidewalks and ramps, traffic lights, water and sewage, fire hydrants and drainage. We will be building smart infrastructure with fiber optics, cameras and sensors designed and embedded into our infrastructure assets.
Water and housing are also priority areas for the new financial year. Interventions will include the provision of water supply solutions to approximately 180,000 rural residents. At the same time, government intends to complete the National Squatter Survey and proceed to the full rollout of its new social housing program.
Housing remains a key priority for the government. In line with Vision 2030, every Jamaican should have access to safe, sustainable, and affordable housing. We need to build enough housing solutions at a rate which will prevent informal settling.
Sir Allen informed that the government would also advance plans for the development of new high schools focused on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM education. And in the area of health, the Andrew Holness administration says this fiscal year will witness the largest spend on health infrastructure in over 3 decades. The Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries is set to execute a number of projects to boost water supply in farming communities. The Governor General says the projects are part of a wider plan to safeguard the sector during periods of drought. He notes that other work will be done to increase exports of agricultural produce as well as develop new industries.
One of the government's major priorities, which will facilitate growth and increase efficiencies, is the development of a national policy for productivity improvement.
To achieve this, government intends to place greater emphasis on improving the quality of workforces through skills training and the use of technologies. Meanwhile, the Disabilities Act will come into effect in the new fiscal year, creating a fair and equal society for persons with disabilities. And the Disabilities Rights Tribunal will also be established and begin hearings.
An emerging area that the government intends to focus on is electric vehicles. The public passenger fleet will be the first area for attention with the introduction of 45 electric buses. The projected benefits of implementing this initiative is quite significant and include energy saving, environmental preservation, and the reduction of the national fuel bill.
In the areas of justice and local government, the administration is building 3 regional judicial complexes and 1 parish court. The government is also constructing 3 state-of-the-art fire stations and renovating 4.
Our people are deserving of the bountiful reward that will come from our collective efforts at building a stronger and a greater Jamaica.
All these works will be supported by the government's $852.6 billion budget for the 2020-2021 fiscal year. The estimates of expenditure was tabled in the House of Representatives by Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark shortly after the Governor General's throne speech.
The proposed central government budget continues to prioritize capital expenditure, which has been maintained at 3.3% of GDP, while seeking to enhance social protection and adequately provide other core government services.
Our government has created a set of plans, policies, programs, and legislation which demonstrates its resolve to make this Jamaica's decade of growth, peace and prosperity as we move forward to fulfill Vision 2020.
Government continues to invest in the development of sport through partnerships. This has resulted in exchange programs for athletes and coaches in various disciplines. Here are the results so far of the Jamaica China partnership.
The Jamaica China Technical Cooperation Program is the largest bilateral sports agreement between the two countries. For each year of the 3-year China-funded program, 138 Jamaican athletes, managers and coaches from 7 sporting disciplines traveled to China for 2 months of intensive training.
So we have 3 teams in Yunnan province, that's in Kunming. Those are swimming, female basketball and female volleyball. In Yunnan province, we have synchronized swimming, gymnastics, badminton and female football.
One of the first stops that we made in China was to the Kunming Physical Training School, where we observed the volleyball, basketball and swimming teams in training.
They train twice per day, starting at, the day actually starts at 6 when they have breakfast. We arrive at the center by 8:30, where we do a 30-minute warm-up. They hit the pool by 9 o'clock. Training is normally completed by 11 once the sets are completed, and then we return to the hotel. They have lunch. There's a 1.5-hour nap time, and then we come back in the afternoon at 2:30, another half-an-hour session of warm-up, and then we go again at 3 until 5.
They take the training very serious, and we also see they have many improvements during all the training. But for one thing, that's the coach very appreciates that they follow coach instruction, and they try their best to get more improvement.
As you may know, China is ranked amongst the top 5. They have one of the top 5 best volleyball teams in the world. So coming here to train, we're training amongst the greats.
While here, we do a lot of repetition, and it really helps us getting better performance-wise. Where we're weak in terms of our strength, the gym work really helps, and when we go on court, it shows. So we're able to hit the bar harder, able to jump higher, just perform better.
They're really positive and they're serious with this training, and they like to learn.
The coach, he uses gestures while he speaks to us. So as volleyballers, we understand those gestures, and those who came last year will understand a little of the Chinese, like counting from 1 to 4, we understand that, and other little things.
Shababa means it's a very delicious food from where he comes from, the Yunnan province. And he said that after people eat it, they get very energized. And so we say it because we want to get energized on court so that we can perform our best. We usually say it before, like when we're cheering before our match or when we win a point.
The basketball team was only a few meters away from the volleyball players. The team's training site, Kunming Physical Training School, is a high-altitude training base that pushes the cardiovascular and circulatory systems of athletes to optimal levels.
Breathing, like it's really hard here because of the altitude difference. So, the higher we go, less oxygen there is or air. So when we go on track or even in here, indoors, when we're running, it's really hard to catch our breath or to even breathe normally. Some people, we have, I think, 4 athletes that have asthma, so it's extra hard for them, but they manage. In 2 weeks or 3 weeks, everyone adjusts and we're okay.
And on Monday, we do a little bit of skill training and core exercise after the skill training. The core exercise is abs basically to improve your strength, jumping, running, all of those assets. The biggest improvement is the fitness level and the skills. Dribbling the ball, floor spacing, setting pick, setting off the ball screen, and just learning to play as a team.
And there are even more benefits to be derived from the athletes' daily encounter with their Chinese coaches.
They're very disciplined. They teach us life skills about respecting time, all of those things. They're very, very disciplined, and it's good training, life skills for us.
Wait until you hear about the other athletes we're visiting in the city of Changsha.
Being here has really been an amazing opportunity. Working with the Chinese coaches, they've really been helping us learn new techniques, and it's been really new. Some of their techniques are different, but I realized that they really do help the girls improve.
The girls that I have here is from age 6 to 13. Elisa is my youngest. Her name is Elisa Alexander Black. She came up here, she's very strong, but she gets stronger. So if you like put her into a present stand, she can stay up into a present stand as long as for 1 minute and go back down, but she's very strong for her age.
Like Elisa, another gymnast that has grown in strength and performance is young Shakoy Bennett, the only male gymnast on the team this year.
I've gotten some skills, some high-level skills that I would need to be able to put in a routine to be able to compete. So yeah, that's, I would say, is one of the biggest achievements I have so far. My objective is to go to the Olympics, possibly the Olympics and the World Champs, possibly medaling.
But training wasn't the only activity on the gymnast's daily agenda. The team also showcased the dynamic dance routines they have been learning. Their performance was well received.
I am Kayla, the captain of the female football team here in China. Ni hao. In terms of the training, some of the things that we do here you don't really see in Jamaica, so you pick up a lot of new things that you can bring back home and teach your teammates, your coaches, your friends. Every drill that they do right here, they focus on defending. They put in both attacking and defending. So if you look at them playing right now, how they set out, the coach incorporate all of those stuff in it. In Jamaica we do drills like this, but you don't really think there are so many drills, but like this one thing until you come here.
This is an awesome initiative, and I think that it can only be better for the nation, for the girls to come to a place like China to enhance their talents. I believe that the girls want to be that next reggae international girl, and so this year it has really pushed the girls to work even harder, and you can see in training where they are constantly reminding each other to stay focused.
So there's only one more team to visit, and this team happens to be the largest group in the delegation. Can you guess what that is? Badminton.
Our delegation consisted of 28 persons, of which 23 junior players, 1 player coach, a liaison officer, and myself, the team manager.
Well, last year we mainly focused on the physical aspect on our body, and this year we mainly focused on the technical aspect and the tactical, which meaning that we focus mostly on the fingers, the arm actions. And in Jamaica we play European style of badminton, while here we play Asian style of badminton.
Biggest thing that surprised me was probably their playing style. When I was in Jamaica, we're taught to use the wrist more, and then now we're taught to use the fingers to play. And it has really helped in my game, play much easier and more comfortable now.
It would be remiss of me not to extend on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica, and especially on behalf of my minister, the Honorable Olivia Grange, the appreciation or gratitude to the government and people of the People's Republic of China for this wonderful program.
With so many distractions around to deter our students from focusing on their studies, Prime Minister Andrew Holness had a one-on-one session to reinforce the importance.
the first step of wanting to get empowerment and be empowered is you must never be satisfied with the way you are. You must always be seeking to improve. So you must always be seeking more, seeking better, because you can always do better. You can always improve. And I believe that sometimes in our society, we don't always encourage people to improve. Even in our household, we tend to say, well, you're just like your daddy, meaning to say you're not going to be better than what your father or parent has achieved. You go on like you're better than people, meaning to say that we must all stay at the lower stage and not seek to improve ourselves. In fact, you know, there is this thing in our culture that makes it appear as if someone is trying to improve themselves, they are doing something bad. That is true, right? When what we should be doing is to applaud people who work hard and achieve. Right? Yes, that's what we should do. But somehow in our culture, we have turned it upside down. And it is very pervasive in the classroom because you see what happens is it provides cover for people who are lazy and people who don't want to change and people who are set on a pathway to failure. So they don't want anyone doing better than the average, because then they will have to put out a little bit more effort. Now, if that is allowed to be the common standard in the society, then our society will never improve. So, one of the things I want to give you today is that you must never be ashamed of success. And you must always seek to be the best at what you do, to be excellent.
As we celebrate Jamaica Day tomorrow, let us collectively pledge the love and loyalty of our hearts, work diligently and creatively to build a better and safer Jamaica, to live, work, raise families, and do business. Join us again tomorrow when we bring you another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JISnews. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.